It's an utter outrage. If the Department of Justice has chosen to focus their investigation not on the actions of the officer, not on the actions of Renee Good at the scene of the fatal shooting, but rather on the widow of the deceased, that is indefensible. First of all, whatever the widow of Renee Good may have done, what her associations may have been, is completely and totally irrelevant to the question of whether this was a justified legal self-defense shooting by the ICE officer.
That right there that you see being discussed on CNN should be like a thing, like an AI thing online that's not real, but like briefly goes viral. The idea that you would investigate the widow of the woman ICE murdered and not the guy who did the murdering, that should be a crazy thing that like someone that like you largely agree with politics on, but like goes way too far believes. That's where it should end. But no. It's real. It has actually happened and it's had consequences. Not good consequences, but it's had consequences. So 6 federal prosecutors in Minnesota have resigned over the investigation being described right there. One is Joseph Thompson, who is second in command at the US Attorney's Office and oversaw sprawling fraud investigation that has roiled Minnesota's political landscape. He was among those who quit. Not only him, but also Harry Jacobs, Melinda Williams, Thomas Calhoun Lopez. One Jacobs was Mr. Thompson's deputy overseeing the fraud investigation. Mr. Calhoun Lopez was the chief of the Violent and Major Crimes Unit. And according to the police chief of Minneapolis, losing Mr. Thompson is a major blow to efforts to root out rampant theft from state agencies. So if you didn't think that all of this was stupid enough, the way the DOJ, the way the Trump administration decided to handle this shooting, saying right off the bat, the woman who was killed is a terrorist. The guy who did the killing, I don't care what happens on video. He was totally justified. He could be jogging alongside the car, shooting a submachine gun into it. We don't care. He had to do it to save his life. We're not investigating him. And now, in fact, we're going to investigate the woman nearby the murder that drove these people to leave their positions. And they were doing the investigations of fraud, which were the reason that they invaded Minneapolis in the first place because of the viral conspiratorial xenophobic videos. And so congratulations, Nick Shirley and the others who fired all of this up. They got a woman killed. They got funding taken away from likely millions of conservatives who rely on those funds in a variety of blue states. And now the actual battle to uncover any lingering fraud has been dealt a severe blow to. And all of this because the regime like refuses to acknowledge reality, refuses to acknowledge when they've done something wrong. And so it's as self-destructive as basically everything else they've done, Sharon. What do you make of it?
I wish I was a lawyer because then I could probably pinpoint the exact laws that I think are being broken. But we're being run by a criminal entity. We just are. And then we have people who are standing by capitulating, and then others who are a little too weak, and then a few strong ones who are consistently speaking up, like Roe. It's sick nonsense. She didn't just lose her partner. It happened in real time in front of her eyes. And then 10 seconds later, Kristi Noem, she behaves like a village idiot, called the woman a domestic terrorist. Yeah. This is beyond cruel. And I just need all of our elected leaders and everyone. I wish we could have one national day where they go for impeachment, crimes against humanity, whatever it is. We are in a war and we have to take our country back, which is ironic because that's what those who were storming the Capitol on January 6th were saying. We have to take our country back. It's
100%
astounding.
Yeah, no, we totally should. And you mentioned Kristi Noem. The crazy thing is I saw her job approvals at 36% right now. And it just seems like on top of everything else that we have to deal with, the fact that they are all so deeply unpopular. Like it would be one thing if they win, they do all this stuff and oh my God, they're violating the Constitution, they're breaking the law, but they're at 80% approval for some reason. And so yeah, I can sort of understand why they would think they could be dictators. But like, has this amount of executive overreach and power ever been wielded by a regime as utterly disliked as the Trump regime is? I don't know. Again, that would matter far more were we in a democracy. We unfortunately are in whatever America is now instead. But reminder that you are at least not crazy. That no, people don't like Kristi Noem, they don't like Pam Bondi, they don't like any of these people.